Okay, so we're on episode 10 of Surviving with Celia. I almost said Birthday Boys, which is who produces this podcast. Behind the camera, we have JP Boo. He's our tech guy, sound guy, and sometimes woman beater, but it's consensual. And then we have my co-host, Eric Biggs.
Woo!
And then, dun dun dun, today's guest. We have Bill Rhoades, the foul-mouthed teacher, as seen on Kill Tony. Dun, dun, dun.
It's a mouth I like. Anyways.
Yeah. Naughty. All right. I'm a dork. So, Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So, the episode for the podcast is called Surviving with Celia, and we talk about different things you've had to survive and shit. And you worked in a prison, correct? Yes. You want to talk about that a little bit, or?
Yeah. When I first started off working, it was a medium security federal prison, so it's like easy time. You know, not a lot of violence or anything, not toward us anyway. And then I became a member of the riot team, and because it was a private prison system. If anyone within our company in the United States was having riots, they would deploy us to go and basically like take control of entire sections of prison facilities.
So kind of like how they send firefighters to different areas to fight shit?
To help out when people lose control,
Yeah. That's fucking wild. Also, you do look like somebody that should bust up riots in prisons. If I'm being real honest, like the first time I met you, I was like,
them.
Yeah. I was like a teacher, huh? Fucking, this seems odd.
Also, real quick, how did you go from that to being a teacher?
I wanted something more dangerous in my life, so I became a teacher.
Yeah, in schools you can't shoot back.
Yeah.
What grade did you teach?
I started off. Let's go back. I was a high school football coach.
Okay.
And then I went to working with special needs. So like it was high school kids with like autism, Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I finished up my last 3 years in middle school.
Okay. What was harder or like worse, the prisoners or the students?
There's nothing worse than a middle schooler.
Yeah, middle schoolers are assholes. I love them. Their parents are assholes.
Oh my god, parents are the worst.
My comparison between students and inmates on Kill Tony is actually what got me removed from teaching. But there's a lot of similarities.
No, that's fair. So a lot of people don't know I used to teach martial arts to kids, and like it was like all the ages, but like so we start teaching kids, like the youngest we'll go is 2, but that's normally girls because girls are easier when they're younger. But like ages 2 to he's not on the list. Just kidding, no.
Not yet.
But the real reason, it's like
if you kill them, they can't report.
It'd be crazy if you just blame Kill Tony. It was a completely different reason.
Yeah.
Just kidding, no. But so now I taught the kids classes like ages, like I helped teach ages 3 to like the teenage classes, and then I did the adult classes. But the parents are fucking nightmares, and it's like the people who can afford martial arts are people with like disposable income and like can't afford to send, because I had to teach the classes to pay my dues.
Yeah.
So I was like holding the kick pads, and like most of those kids were really cool and awesome. Some of them sucked, but parents fucking nightmare. They made me dye my hair to a normal color because I used to have blue hair. Because one mom was freaking out about it. You know, it's like my daughter wants blue hair because of her. And
she's got to work up to blue hair. She's got to get past.
Yeah,
white,
you got to start with white and then yellow and then.
And also blue is my favorite color. So when I was a blue belt, and I'm like, it matches my nails and my hair. I'm not switching. But like there would be like one parent said I was emotionally abusive to her child because I told him he was bad at kicks, which he was. Like the whole point of kicking is to still be standing afterwards, unless you're doing like one of those, I forget what they're called, a scissor kick, where you kind of drop down.
Like a lesbian thing?
Kind of, it's like essentially like you're here and you drop this leg down and trip them that way. And, but yeah, no, like the kids, they'll be like, they'll try and kick as high as they can, and then they'll just like land on their ass. It's like, okay, 1, you have to remain standing. 2, keep your hands up. Because like that's the biggest thing, like block your head. But like
I prefer being physically abusive to children personally, but
Yeah.
Well, that was the cool thing about teaching martial arts because I can make them do push-ups and shit.
Yeah.
Or I can hit them sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I was a football coach. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've laid into some kids with the blocking pads
Yeah.
a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of them, they get a little mouthy and you're just like, yeah, come over and hit the pad. Yeah. What did you coach? Were you like a head coach?
So my last school that I coached at was a small 2A school. So I was the head middle school coach.
Yeah.
I was the offensive coordinator for JV, and then I was the special teams coordinator and offensive line coach for varsity.
Oh, goddamn. Yeah, it's one of those where they're like, you do everything.
And you're a bus driver.
Yeah.
I have no
Not
idea
lying.
what
Yeah.
any of this means. But my sport's hockey. But
So basically, I worked from 5 a.m. to get ready for middle school practice until about 9 p.m. once varsity practice was over, and it was all done.
Middle school, like when like the kids start taking it like way more seriously, like they're like, yeah, I want to do this in high school. Yeah, I want to play for the NFL.
So middle school is the sucky part because that's where you've got 70 kids trying out to be on A team and B team. So you've got the kids who are really, really good, and then you've got the kids who are mommy's little athlete.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's the reality of your dad's not coaching your youth team anymore. Mm-hmm. You're on the B team. And, dad comes in and he's like, why is my boy on the B team? I was like, well, sir, he can either sit on the bench on the A team or he can get play time on the B team.
Yeah.
Like that's when kids are having to get that reality of like a real pecking order.
Yeah.
Dad's not running shit anymore.
Yeah.
It's, people who are coaching for their job now.
Well, and also a lot of middle school, from like what I remember whenever I was in middle, it was a lot of kids figuring out like who's growing early and who hasn't grown yet. Like there's a lot of that also where like the kid that was really good hasn't hit a growth spurt.
Yep.
And then Billy is now...
Or he peaked in 5th grade.
Yeah, it's like now this other kid, he's 5'10", in 6th grade, and it's like, well, that's a giant.
Yeah.
So you're getting kids that you're like, oh, you used to be a point guard in basketball, now you're a center.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think taking fucking dodgeball out of elementary school is what ruined athletics for kids.
Absolutely.
Because that established a pecking order, right?
Yeah.
So like you knew the kids who were going to be athletes, and then you knew who you needed to buy a fucking clarinet for,
Yeah. Is that real? Did they actually quit doing that?
Oh yeah, like your bigger schools, and if they
Holy
have
cow.
it, it's like volleyball, dodgeball, where you're throwing it over a net so you can't throw, line drives at people. And I think it's important for kids to establish that, like at a younger age, before they start learning when it's testosterone going through their veins. Of we need to establish a pecking order now, and you're my bitch. Like
figure it out whenever it's still peaceful.
Learn early.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to like the prison thing. You talk about like my most, I guess, survival thing. I had to jump on a plane the day before Halloween to head up to
Mischief night.
No, the day before Halloween, I had to fly up to Minnesota, and like far west Minnesota. Like we're like 10 minutes from South Dakota.
Damn.
And they had lost control. So this is a big. They called it a star facility. So it had basically 5 wings.
Yeah.
They had lost complete control of one of the entire wings. We're talking 300 inmates. They had taken over an entire wing. They had taken toothpaste and newspaper and covered up all the windows. They had stacked, they had ripped the big metal tables with the chairs on them out, and they had covered up doorways.
Oh, damn.
And so we basically had to go in, and we're like tear gassing, getting in. We're ripping 3 or 4 people out, then sending them through medical, and then we have to ship them out because this is a medium security.
Yeah.
Now that you're rioting and doing this, you're a maximum. And so we're shipping these people out. So we're basically going in and like kidnapping them, extracting them, and then getting rid of them.
Yeah.
I got there the day before Halloween, and I didn't leave until 2 days after Easter.
Damn.
I got punched in the face by when I was there. Like I had some cool shit happen. It's one of my favorite stories because, I mean, back then I was a few biscuits lighter. I was probably about 270, 265, somewhere in there. And
like, did he uppercut you?
No, so I took this guy down and
jumped off a table,
and I'm on one knee and I'm handcuffing this guy.
Oh, so you were on his level.
Yeah.
That's fair
I was
game.
down on one knee, and I grabbed him by the arm, and I was looking up for someone else to kind of hand him off to.
Yeah.
And whenever I turned, this dude probably comes up to here on me and went, bam, and just dotted my eye. And
did you use him as a billy club?
I
You were Hulk?
I put two hands in his chest, and I was pissed at first, but I pushed him, and I'm a pretty strong guy. He left his feet, and it looked like so one of the other sergeants that was there, he said it looked like the guy had a rope on his back, and someone pulled him because he went like backwards and fell out.
Like those like martial arts scenes where they fly backwards, kind of.
So it's like Crouching Tiger hit. Like,
yeah, dude.
It was bad.
Dude, I love wrestling so much.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I love that so much. Okay, have you watched Mayor of Kingstown?
I have not.
Okay, all right, never mind.
Is that?
It's a show on Paramount Plus. It's got Jeremy Renner in it, and he's like I don't know, like a fix-it guy for like the gangs and for the crooked cops and the regular cops, and it's a super fucking cool show. But they have a whole thing in like season 2 or 3 where like the prison gets overran. Okay. And I was gonna be like, how much like did that really piss you off with like the way they portrayed it, or was it like fairly decent?
The biggest stuff I'll compare to. So I've been in some maximums.
Yeah.
I've been in some minimums and some mediums.
Yeah.
I've yet to see a completely accurate prison show. If you ever watch Orange is the New Black, every day in that episode, like every day in that TV show is like the worst day that I've ever experienced in any other facility. Like what you see on TV is not what a real prison system's like.
No.
Our worst situation we ever had was we're private. And so we always picked up like overflow contracts from other people. We had South Texas U.S. Marshals, which means we had Mexican Mafia, Nuestra Familia, MS-13, like all these different Mexican gangs. When they first got there, we had to classify and separate who was who because they weren't getting along, like they were fighting each other. And then we had we had one Aryan Brotherhood guy who got stuck in a Mexican pod just because he came in with them. And he made a comment. He asked one of the guys, he was like, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you all have your name tattooed on your back so your boyfriend knows what to call out whenever he's behind you? So he got his ass handed to him. He was in there for one day.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think he did it on purpose. That way he could get yanked and go somewhere else. But there were no other Aryan Brotherhood guys to stick him in with, so he got stuck in the Samoan pod.
Jesus.
And nobody fucks with the Samoans. So, like, I played on a Samoan softball team, and I was a little guy. Like,
my dad was in the Army, and he was stationed out in California, and that was one of the things he's always told me. He's like, you see a bunch of Samoans, leave them the fuck alone. He's like, because me and a bunch of my Army buddies that like thought we were tough were down on the beach one night, and one of my buddies started like popping off. And he's like, and these 3 Samoan dudes came over and fucked up all kinds of dudes. He's like, and I was like, I'm going home.
my buddy Paul, he's Samoan. He's built like me.
Yeah.
And we used to joke around and call him the world's tiniest Samoan.
That's awesome.
So this is like kind of weird, but one time I was at a Circle K, and this dude, he had like the black iron tattoo, a swastika tattoo. Is that what it's called? Black iron?
They do the Iron Cross
or
and
the
they
Iron
do the
Cross,
swastika,
yeah.
So he has like all these like Aryan tattoos and shit, and he has a mohawk, and he's wearing like a cut off biker jacket and stuff. But like I see him and he makes eye contact with me, and I just looked at him for a sec, and I opened the door and held it open for him. And he's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're welcome. And he just looked at me for a few seconds. He's like, I'm not really racist. I just don't have any friends. And like, these guys take care of me. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, so the prison is full of white people that are not racist, not real
but
Aryan
like they need to
skinheads,
be protected.
But they have to be protected. So they've got the little, the lightning bolts for SS. So they get a 12 on them, which is AB. First and second letter, AB, Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
And all that. Or they do like the spider web tattoos you see, like that's an Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Question,
The more you know.
Yeah.
Are there like people who can just be by themselves, or do you have to join?
They're usually like in their 60s and 70s, and they're in there
but
for
like
tax
people
evasion.
like leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah, usually the old school people they don't mess with. And
but if it's like somebody younger, like they're gonna get bothered, or
it depends. Like if you're quiet and if you're a book reader and maybe you go play cards here and there with people and you don't go into debt, if you can back up your losses with ramen noodles, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, because I always thought I'd do well in prison, and like I just figured I'd get a lot of reading done while I was in there. Maybe practice push-ups again.
Just get good at eating pussy.
Yeah. I would not.
I don't need to get good at it. I already am.
I got thick thighs, dude. I would be in trouble.
Yeah. I don't know now. I've got like childbearing hips now. I think I'd be in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking.
Junk in my trunk.
Yeah.
See? You need to be married longer. Get hips like that.
Yeah, dude. I'm a thick boy, dude. I do not belong in the cage.
I don't. Like I like my quiet time. I fucking love fishing. Like that would be. I think the worst part about prison wouldn't be like, oh, I miss my family. I would be like, I miss my kayak. Like,
yeah. Also, the most impressive fish catch I've seen was the one you posted the other day.
Out of a culvert.
Yeah, you just like threw out and caught a fucking fish.
I didn't even throw it out. So I walked up and the culvert, like the big metal drainage thing, it's in this pond. It's fucking 105 degrees. There's no shade anywhere. So I was like, that's the only dark spot in the whole pond. So I just took a little plastic like lizard and I just dipped it in there and all of a sudden it went back up into there. And so I was like, bang, and caught a fish.
Dude, trust me, I was sitting there and I was like, all right, Bill is on the apocalypse team. Fucking.
Oh, do you know how to like make fish nets and shit too?
Like stockings?
Yes,
I do a lot of my own like fishing stuff. Like I makeshift lures, things like that.
Because I used to know how to. I don't think I can do it anymore, but I used to know how to like make fishing nets.
Yeah.
Because they taught us that in Girl Scout, and I used to know a lot of knots and shit. But now I like forgot half of it.
Well, I saw you're into like Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, I just got into the.
I've been watching it for years. Like.
I would not survive.
I've got a little dick, so I'm hung like a fruit bat.
Hard pass.
If I could just be afraid, like I'd love to go on that show.
All right, now if I got back to like when I was 200 pounds, I think I might be all right on there because I do have. And then it was funny because I was bored, so I grabbed like what's it called, a cord. Like
paracord.
Yeah, and I was practicing like making snares again, and I actually did remember. Like I was trying to see if I could do it from memory.
It's second nature. Once it'll come back to you.
It took a couple tries. So I'm like, no, I didn't do that right. But like the little loop and the other loop, and then I'm like, yeah. And then I just tie that to this, and you put it. It's like, and then I Googled it, and I'm like, oh shit, I did do it right. So I was actually proud of that.
And full disclaimer, I don't have a little dick. I just got fat and it started to disappear.
That's how that works too, because like I love fucking fat dudes. But like if you like push in on there, like what?
It's Jack in the Box, man. Surprise.
Yeah, no, if you push in, like you actually do, like there's another like inch or two in there. It's just receding into the fat.
3 or 4 if you get my size.
Yeah.
Like when my wife and I first met, I like to finish on her tits. Now I can just like fill up her belly button.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But yeah, no, because that's the other thing. Because like it feels like I'm better at sucking dick when it is a fat dude. Because like most of it's like hidden in the fat, like it's like hiding.
It's a choke guard.
Yeah, it is. That's part of the reason I like it. But what sucks is I like being I like being on top, but I need skinny dudes to be on top because it's just me. It's like me shaped like a ball, and like they're shaped like a ball, and I'm trying to mount, and then next thing you know, it's like oh. So I just like fall. It's like just trying to get on a horse, but you keep missing and falling off on the other side.
Eric, show me on the beer can where Mr. Rhoades touched you.
Yeah.
All the places I like.
He tried to touch me where I pee.
Skinny wild guys are wild though. It's like get on top, sit on my face, and I'm like, I will fucking kill you. That was actually one of my favorite roasts. Somebody wrote that. It's like, I'm suicidal too. Do you want to sit on my face later? And I'm like, that might be one of the most romantic things I've ever heard. I kept that card because I was at Poke the Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of your roasts. I've never. So today is my 1 year anniversary of comedy. A year ago today. Thank you. I signed up for an open mic at San Jack Saloon, but I didn't make the 20 cut. They asked if I wanted to do a roast battle, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Having zero comedy. I got lucky and went against an Iranian guy, so I was like, I'm just going to be racist.
There you go.
But like watching your stuff, like I really want to try roast battles. Like get into it. You know who, oh God, John Urell is the guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, Joe Urell. Yeah.
Joe Urell, yeah. So he's reached out to me, like trying to get me to help him with some awesome stuff where he has wheelchair access to a stage.
Yeah.
And he's invited me to go to California and do some roast stuff.
Oh,
so
fuck yeah.
I'm working on some stuff. I really, really want to do that. Like,
yeah.
I can't remember if he has a heavy ass wheelchair or if it's like.
He's got a motorized, like heavy wheelchair.
Because normally we'll just like lift people, take them up the stairs and shit.
His dream is to do Sunset Strip. And I'm like, yeah, we would have to get a hoist.
Yeah. Well, you guys know Boone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've helped carry him.
Dude, I've helped carry Boone so many times, and he's always so cool about it. But I'm always just like,
white slaves.
I'm always just like, fuck, I do not want to do this.
Let's go, Cleopatra.
But I'm like, you're such a nice dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like Joe was telling me, he was like, I've had people. He said, because you can't carry him in his chair, so he's had people hold him, move his chair, and then put him. And he was like, that's so like degrading.
Yeah.
And all that. So I get that too.
I did find out. Like I was actually thinking about him yesterday and Boone, because at LOL they have a ramp.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. So I thought it'd be like nice if like I just make a list of all the places that do have that. But like it is a little fucked.
Yeah, it really is something that should be
a norm.
Yeah, like a normal thing.
Because he advocates for it a lot.
Yeah.
I've got a friend that I met online. I've done some virtual podcasts with him named Steve Ortiz. He goes by the Sitcom. He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was like, you're a teacher. I'm in a wheelchair. He's like, let's get some other and like we could tour with you driving us on a short bus. Like that's fucking brilliant.
Dude, what cracks me up is so I guess a lot of the
short
like
bus comedy tour.
Yeah, dude.
No, so I guess a lot of the wheelchair like comics and shit and the disabled comics, they all have beef with each other for stupid reasons.
Yeah.
But dude, one of my favorite guys, his name is Short Bus Steve Short Bus Kraus. He actually got on a Skankfest this year, so I'm excited to see him. But it's cute. Whenever I post I need a ride somewhere, he's like, I'll give you a ride. He's like, it's going to take us a couple weeks to get there, though. It's like, what, you just want me to sit on your lap while you motor?
But
it's like, we'll never make it.
Though.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, I have one friend, his show's called The Crippled Kings of Comedy.
Nice.
Because, like, he has a fucked up
great
hip.
fucking gimmick, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That is good, yeah.
Well, I was born with my leg not in my hip socket, so, like, I kind of count. Sort of, and then, like, I have my fucked up. They'll have me do the shows, but I don't get along with one of the dudes on the show. He has cerebral palsy or whatever, but he's a creepy little motherfucker, and everybody lets him get away with being an asshole and being a creepy fuck because he's disabled, and he walks like the inflatable arm dude. Like you remember how like he'll walk. It's like.
Fucking weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we used to be friends, but also he is just kind of a fucking asshole, and like he's bad with women and shit. And like he likes irregular shaped women like me. So he's creeped on me and a couple other girls. But like now that I have like this weird, like this slight little popularity, I told my friend Jacoby, and like he had a brain tumor actually removed from his head recently. But I told him, like, I'm not fucking with Glendon. I'm not going to be on a show with Glendon. If you want me to do a show with Glendon, I need $200 up fucking front. Because I'm not going to be uncomfortable the whole time while he just stares at me. Because he like, does this thing, like, you know when a dog's in trouble and it looks over its shoulder, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does that.
And there better be fucking stairs to the green room.
Leave him in the basement.
Yeah, no, it's all like, he cannot be on one show. But, like... Yeah, no, it was very clear and concise about those rules, but he's still like trying to get me. He's like, just do the show with Glendon because he's one of the crippled kings. And it's like, he can't be a crippled king. So like, he can be a crippled servant. Yeah. But it's funny because he like bitches about slavery all the fucking time. And if you slightly disagree with him, it's all like, I think pineapple goes on pizza. It's like, well, that's because you're a racist. Yeah. Like, just a garbage human being in general. But he gets away with it because he's handicapped. But, I think I'm gonna punch him one of these days. I feel it coming on. It's like one of these days, it's like, pow. But I did lose my shit at him one time, and like I yelled, it's like, it's not my fault you've given women more children than orgasms, because he has 2 daughters, which I want to know how he tricked that girl. It's like, that was some sympathy make-a-wish pussy it had been.
Well, he pinned her down with his wheelchair.
He can't afford a wheelchair. Yeah, when I don't like somebody, I don't fucking like somebody.
Well, hey, on a different topic. Speaking of surviving, I had an idea. I know JP usually gets us surviving scenarios, but I thought of one, and I wanted to bring it up. There was a show that was on for like one season that was all about the essentially, I think it was called Wanted, where essentially they like reach out to you. They say, hey, you're going to be on like a wanted list in 48 hours. In 48 hours, we're coming after you with like the full power of the government. So like police, cameras, we're taking over your social media to post wanted photos, all this and that. So if you signed up for that show, what would be like your bug out plan? And then...
wow.
First of all, I'd get my phone and I'd tie it to a dog. So
that's a good idea. Because also, I think you have to stay. You have to not get caught for like a week, or it's either. I think it was 2 weeks, if I remember right. You had to not get caught for 2 weeks. If you didn't get caught, it was $1 million. So,
damn. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I thought I was like I could definitely do that. But what would be yours? And then Bill, let's hear yours.
Alright, so yeah, I would either give somebody else my phone, like have it fully charged and like tie it to a dog or something.
Yeah.
And then I would either dye my hair or shave my head, like change my features and shit.
Yeah.
Figure out something to do, like maybe walk with like a limp or something.
Yeah.
But like do shit like, or do something to like, it's $2 million, I might burn my face a little. Yeah. I self-harm, it's fine, just a couple like, it's like I can't be her. She doesn't have that weird birthmark or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like disguise myself, get rid of that. I would have to figure out what I need to do for like money or food. I guess I could just go off the grid in the forests.
Yeah. Well, because also you would have prep time because you would know that you signed up for the show.
Yeah.
So I could have a go bag.
Yeah. So you would know like, hey, I signed up for the show because that was part of the thing that they always kind of made it seem of like. Everybody knew they signed up, but they didn't know like when it was about to be. That way it was kind of, so like you might be at work, you might be out, doing shows, you might be, kind of wherever. And then they send you a thing and they say you have 48 hours. Like, hey, you committed a crime, 48 hours, we're coming after you.
Alright, I would have like also too, like I'd get my debit and credit cards.
Yeah.
And give them to homeless people. Or something. It's like, you can go spend this money, but I need you to go withdraw money in this part of the town, throw them off my trail.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So it'll be like multiple things. One, they're chasing the dog. Two, they're checking the pings, but it's just homeless people, or I'll find somebody who kind of looks similar to me.
Yeah.
So a fat Thea.
Yeah.
Probably find places where I don't stick out. I don't speak Spanish. Well, so that kind of like narrows it down. But like, yeah, if I had a go bag, probably throw some like MREs in there, some like protein bars, shit like that, and then have cash.
Yeah.
So if I do need cash, let me think if there's anything else I do. Probably find like, I wouldn't check into a hotel or anything. And like I did used to be homeless, so I'm no stranger to sleeping on the streets and shit.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? What about you, Bill? You got the ex prison raid experience here.
I've got too many visible tattoos to just hide out.
Yeah.
And so that's red flag number one. I mean, I'd have to shave off my beard. I've had this since 2013.
Yeah.
No one knows what I look like without this outside of my mom. Even my wife's never seen me without a beard.
Yeah. That shit does help. Being able to cut off facial hair. Yeah,
cut off my beard. And I mean, I've got a funny answer and a real answer.
Well, let's do both.
So because he doesn't listen to podcasts, the place where I do my open mic comedy, nobody goes there outside of that. So I would just hang out at that bar for 2 weeks.
just get shit faced at whatever.
And then go back to Dale's house because he lives 2 blocks from the bar.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'd go to rehab. Nobody would ever think to look for me there.
I would. And I mean, honestly, dude, my wife's from Salt Lake City. I've got a lot of friends there, Mormon preppers. Like, I've got 20 basements I could go stay in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
with some Mormon folks. And I mean, they're people, I fucking hitchhiked to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And by the time, with no beard, I guess I'm wearing long sleeves and a turtleneck and shaving my beard. I'm going to hitchhike to Salt Lake City and go stay in a Mormon basement for 2 weeks.
There you go. Yeah, see, well, because...
With canned goods.
Whenever I remember like the show coming out, I watched a couple episodes before it got canceled, which I still don't understand why it got canceled. It was the coolest show. I was like, this is dope. But the best people I saw they were outdoors people. Yeah. So they were like, they lived in like Louisiana or some shit. And they're like, all right, we got kayaks. We got a go bag. They got the call. They packed up their shit. They got in their kayaks and they just took out into the swamps.
Yeah.
And they made it all the way until like the last couple days. And his wife just like had a breakdown and was like, I'm not living in the swamps anymore.
Oh,
blah,
he
blah,
had to
blah.
take his wife?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It was couples.
Oh, okay.
So a bunch of them, they were doing it as couples.
To kill the partner?
So they went out and it was like him and his wife like, it was like, no, we're not doing this anymore. So they like went to a friend's house and got caught within like an hour.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, yeah, that's so dumb. I remember me and my dad talking about it. We're like, yeah, we'll get on motorcycles because motorcycle, they don't have the GPS and all that kind of shit. So we just get on motorcycles and take off.
Yeah.
Stop at shitty gas stations that have, just like pay cash, stuff like that. Don't use credit cards and just camp out at like campgrounds and side things and stuff like that. Steal plates or something like that. And then, I feel like it was one of the few shows that was ever made that I'm like, I could win that.
Yeah.
And I would like to do that. And I wonder if that's why they had to cancel the show. If too many people were like, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to disappear in the wilderness.
There's
I'm great
another
at fishing,
idea.
So I can eat anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So another thing that I might be able to do is like, I'll Jane Doe myself into a psych ward. So I'll get rid of all my like identification and shit. Just like go in and say I'm gonna kill myself and they ask my name, it's like I don't remember, or like just start tweaking out, like acting crazy.
Yeah.
And like they'll have to take me in regardless, and every time they're about to like let me out or whatever, I just gotta act up again, like punch another patient and just like write out 2 weeks there because then I have bed, food, all the other shit, and they just keep like, it's like, what's your name? It's like, I don't remember. It's like, what's this? What's that?
See, that is the stuff that I wish you could do just on like YouTube.
Yeah.
But obviously you'd have to have like coordination with police and shit to like come hunt you down. Because like that was part of like the cool thing was that they had like, they were using like actual like police tactics.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're going to essentially act like you're a wanted criminal. And on one of the episodes, a couple like stopped and asked to like use somebody else's phone. So they like used somebody else's phone and they got on like their Facebook account, and their Facebook account just showed like that they were like wanted fugitives, and the person that they're like borrowing the phone from is just looking at them like, what the fuck is going on? Obviously they knew that it wasn't real because there was camera crew and shit around them, but you could tell they were sitting in there like, what the fuck is that? Like, who are you people coming out of the woods?
But that's a ping on somebody searching your account. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
You can't get curious. You just have to...
Yeah, you just have to be like, well, I'm going to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be the coolest show to actually be able to like set up, do, and produce.
You could also get burner phones and just be like, hey, report a tip of somebody looking like me over in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, reporting yourself and all that could look like a throw off. And so, I mean, you like do some bullshit stuff. Like you said, send someone with your credit cards out. Yeah. And so they're like, well, this is throwing us off. This is throwing us off. And then when you actually, turn yourself in or whatever, they're like, oh, that's another throw off tactic. And
so
you just put yourself in the mix of all the false stuff.
Yeah.
Buy a gun on Craigslist. Cash. Just gonna...
Yeah.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah, dude, trust me.
I actually got excited and I'm like, we should do that.
Trust me. I think about it like a couple times a month. I'll just be sitting around like I could win that fucking stupid game show.
I'm gonna do that with my wife. Like, baby, I'm gonna disappear for 2 weeks. Try and find me.
Yeah, good luck. She's just like, Bill, another strip club? What the fuck?
They're looking like 50 different states, and you've just been hanging out at Perfect 10 for 2 weeks.
Nice. I do think they should have more women in like security and intel because like we're good at tracking shit down.
Nosy bitches.
Yeah. It's like, what's he doing? It's like, where is he at? What's this? What's that?
Who's Cinnamon?
Yeah. Dude, there's like my brothers and shit like trying to cheat on their wives and whatnot. But like they'll hit me up and like depending on the siblings, like I will cover. I don't think his wife will ever watch this.
But, allegedly.
Yeah. No, one of my brothers did ask me, it's like, yo, can I like use you being in the psych ward as an excuse to come to Austin for a bit? It's like I want to get a vasectomy and wait till it heals. And
Jesus Christ.
He's like, so I don't get any of my mistresses pregnant. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Good old Christian things, you know?
But yeah, I'll help you.
I got fixed back in 2008.
I'm told that can go really bad. Like, one of my bosses, like, his balls, he's like, my balls got the size of a coconut.
Yeah.
Because he felt bad for me because I had an IUD and I was, like, in pain for the first, like, couple of days. And I was like, why? And I'm, like, just sitting there. It's like, welcome to McDonald's. Help me help.
Well, I was working at the prison when I had my vasectomy. And so I'll start from the beginning. First of all, I went to a Dr. Richard Chop. So the dude's name is Dick Chop.
Dick Chop.
Yeah, that's where I got my vasectomy.
That was fucking awesome.
And so I go in, and they got the first half, and then when they're on the second one, like he couldn't hook the vas deferens, and they numb the surface, but you still have that kicked in the balls feeling in your stomach. Oh. And so I had to go in the second day and get put under for the second half, and I was in fucking pain. Yeah. And so this black dude that I worked with at the prison, he was telling me, it's not too bad. You know, a couple snips, you sit on frozen peas for a few days, and then, after 5 or 6 days, you're good to go. And I only took 4 days off work. So I had my weekend and then 4 days off.
Yeah.
And I was kind of messing around. Dude, my nuts were fucking, like, heavy
large
bags. And so I was messing with him. I was like, man, you said it's just a couple days. I was like, dude, it's been a week and a half and my balls are still black. He's like, man, it's been 8 years and both of my balls are still black.
Nice. Dude, that was the other thing with the IUD, because they like told me, it's like, just take a couple ibuprofen, you'll be fine. And then like, I know this is gross for men, but I was on my periods. I called him like, do I need to reschedule? I'm like, no, that's actually better. It'll hurt less. But like one nurse played it off. Like, it's like, yeah, just take a couple ibuprofen before you get here, before we do it, and you'll be fine. And then like the other nurse, she comes up and she's like, okay, did you take anything for the pain? I'm like, yeah, I took a couple ibuprofen. And she's like, oh, honey, let me see if I can find you some morphine or something. Like she said something like that. And like they start putting in, I start screaming and yelling because it hurts so bad. I don't think I could ever have a child just based off that experience alone, because like it's the size of a pin, like the uterus is, and what they're putting inside of you is essentially like the inside of a pen, kind of, a little thicker than that. And they're shoving in that tiny little hole. And then like there's 2 T's because it's like shaped like a T. So they're forcing all this through to like block everything.
Hard pass.
But I start screaming and like
barb on a lure, so
the nurse, I felt so bad. Like the nurse practitioner who was putting in, she's like, you're doing great. It's like most women start crying by now. And I'm like, I am crying, you stupid fucking bitch. And I'm like, I hate you. Fuck you. And I'm losing my damn mind. And once everything was over, and she's like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, guess. And she's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, and I got these for you. I got you a nice light prescription. And I'm like, I fucking hate you. And she's like, I know, but you did really good. And I'm sitting there, it's like, I'm sorry, I don't really hate you, but fuck you. What's the matter with you? It's like, why didn't you guys tell me? But I guess part of the reason, like, some of the nurses will play it off is because, like, they don't want you to freak out and back out of it. Yeah. And, like, it is generally really effective. I did get pregnant with it one time, but it's like 99.
Bite your lip, squeeze the pillow, and deal with it.
Yeah. But, like, no, they told me I'd be good to work. Now. I, requested 1 day off work.
Oh, fuck.
And, then I was at work, and that's when Jose came and told me about his giant swollen balls. But like he comes up to me because like I'm in drive-through and I'm like, yeah, so the next time. And he tells me the story and he's like, your brother's coming in right now. He's gonna take over the rest of your shift. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I got you a taxi home, and your brother says he has mota for you at the house. So like I was just watching like rom-coms and like smoking weed and taking edibles and shit. And like I was taking like the Percocet and shit too, but it still fucking hurt for 3 days. It just felt like you know how a Charlie horse feels?
Yeah.
It felt like that inside for like 4 or 5 days.
Hard pass.
But yeah, so it was that, and like they said every woman's different, but like for me it was hell. And like my brother, he's like, are you okay? And I'd just be sitting there crying, but I'd like be quiet about it. And like my brother actually came and checked on me, and he was like bringing me like Chinese food and shit. And he's like, do you think you can go to work in a couple days? I'm like, but yeah, that shit was fucking nuts, and I have to get this thing taken out. And I heard it's more painful to do that, but I have to do this like every 8 years.
Oh shit.
And I'm at the tail end.
Fucking edibles before you go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't you do the bar thing in the arm?
I could do that, but that'll make me fatter, dude.
Well, and so
also I like the IUD because it kind of like essentially gets rid of the bleeding of my period.
Oh, okay.
So like, cause there's 2 types. There's the copper IUD that's good for 10 years, and then the one I have, like, it used to be only good for 5 years, but I think they switched it to 8 now. So like when I went to go get it taken out, they're like, no, you're good for another 2 years. And I'm like, all right, word.
Is it green when they pull it out with the copper? Like that patina?
Probably. But it is an I guess it's
rusty
antimicrobial,
penny.
Copper is. But the copper one doesn't.
Looks like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, that one does not stop your period. But the Mirena, the plastic one I have, that one does, because it releases hormones and shit, or it does something. But it's awesome. Like now, like I'll have like maybe like actual blood, like maybe once every 3 or 4 months. And normally it's just light spotting. But then there's other days where I wake up and it's just like the fucking Expendables down there. It's like, what the fuck?
Periods with Celia Contreras.
You're all learning stuff. Jesus. Oh my god, did you guys watch? There's like TikTok, it's like sending your husband to get like pads with wings.
Man, I'm a single dad. I had to go buy my daughter her shit. She started when she was like 9. And I'm a bumbling fucking idiot.
I got mine when I was 11. It was awful. Yeah, the girls were so mean to me about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen that, the pads with wings thing. And yeah. Because also, if my chick was like, go get pads and wings, I'd be like, all right, fucking pads and
because like when they say the wings, it's the thing that you, like, it's 2 kind of like Band-Aid kind of things, but...
It like wraps around
your underwear. Wraps around to the underwear. So pads with wings, because there's the ones with wings and without wings. But like all these women, like it just shows them, it's like, I want pads with wings, and they'll get the pads.
And then get wings.
And like chicken wings.
Yeah.
And every video.
Also, all you wives complaining, that's a better option. Fucking some B-dubs? Fucking, what are
I would
have
actually been stoked, and it's funny because like seeing the different types of wings the guys would get, he's all like, I got these kind of wings. But like, it's like, that's a good, like one dude got this like huge ass bag of wings for her. It's like, she's probably gonna need a lot of wings.
Yeah.
And another dude like just gets that tiny little TGI Fridays ones that you buy at the gas station.
Yeah.
And he's like, he doesn't love her.
Yeah. Yeah, you break up with that guy.
You come home with like brake pads and pluckers.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Fucking brake pads and pluckers.
Yeah. Oh shit, but yeah, that's another thing. You are a dad.
Yeah.
And I think you're the first dad on my podcast. So
nice.
What's it like? And like you were a single dad, like you said. Yeah. So what's it like surviving that shit?
Boys are fucking easy. Like the only reason I got fixed is because I had a daughter, and I'm like, I can't do this shit twice. So like, but boys for real, like when they stink, you're like shower.
Yeah.
When they're hungry, you're like food, and that's it. With my daughter, so she's 16 now. She's at that point in her life where everything I say is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Her friends love me, like they think I'm pretty cool dad and all that because I'm involved. Where most of their dads are not, because she's in dance, and so it's other dance girls and their dads are like, but football, and like I support my kids and everything they do. If I hadn't remarried, I feel like I would have gone to prison by now. So Rosie, like, she's my fucking rock. Like, she's helping me out with my daughter, like, doing girly things now. Because for the longest time, like I said, I was a high school football coach.
Yeah.
My oldest son was like all-state quarterback. You know, my younger son was like, you know, 2-position varsity player, 4 years in high school.
Yeah.
And so my daughter, like when we would get game film, all the boys are at my house. You know, we're watching film because we had fucking 5 TVs with video games and shit in the living room.
Nice.
They're watching game film, and my daughter's there with a clipboard, like, you know, going over football stuff.
Yeah.
And she liked that until she didn't. You know, when she realized, you know, I don't want to be dad's little buddy. I want to be in dance and theater.
Yeah.
She like rebelled against me hardcore.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part.
You went from daddy's little girl to strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
Need no man.
Yeah. Fucking. She went from fucking, you know, the daughter in what's that movie? Remember the Titans? You know, like that little girl. That was her, and now she's fucking Beyonce. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, because it's your younger son that's kind of into comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He comes out a lot.
Yeah.
I think that shit's cool.
Yeah. Like, I encourage him to do it a lot because, you know, he has a hard time. So, you know, my oldest son, like, he was Mr. fucking athlete in school, and they're 2 years apart in school. And so he always had the hard time of living up to, you know, his
older
big brother,
yeah,
which sucks. And so it was cool that he started doing comedy and writing because it's therapeutic. I mean, everyone in comedy can admit that. And so I kind of joke around because his comedy is a little angry, you know, talking about, you know, his mom leaving him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, he's what, 20?
Yeah, he's 19.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but that's what he knows.
Yeah.
And so every time he's up there doing his angry comedy, I'm like, saving so much fucking money on therapy right now.
Just traumatizing your crowd for 5 minutes.
One of my nephews, he looks up to me and he wants to be a stand-up comic, and he told me, he's like, I'm going to be a stand-up comic like you. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Now we know to save for your antidepressants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are going to save money on college.
Yeah. Yeah, don't have to send you there. Don't have to waste those 4 years.
Yeah, but like I'll tell him stuff like he was so sad he couldn't go to celebrity theater and he can't go to a lot of my shows. Like, he's the one who sends me fucked up shit. He sent me a video of somebody getting beheaded in Afghanistan and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, where the fuck did you find this? He's like, the dark web. And I'm like, how did you get on the dark web? He's like, you know, you just type something .onion or whatever. And I'm like, what? And like, but
something .onion.
On that note,
no, I forget what it is, but I think it is onion. I probably shouldn't be saying this. But no, like, cause dude, it does crack me up because like there was always the like weird like strict parents or the helicopter parents, and their kid is the worst fucking kid, or like they're either like all like to themselves and just like meek and like one step away from being in a giant bulletproof hamster ball.
Yeah.
And then there's the other ones, the second that their parents are out, it's like, fuck this, fucking that shit. It's all like, watch this girl squirting. It's like shit like that.
So that's my younger nephew. It's my oldest sister, her younger son. He's the one that turned me on to Urban Dictionary and all that.
Oh,
that Soulja Boy song we talked. Superman that hoe. Is like, what's he even talking about? He's like, oh, that's when you jerk off on a girl's back and then cover her up with a sheet and it sticks to her like it's a cape.
Yeah, no, you'll learn shit from kids.
And then the Spider-Man and all this shit. And fucking great kid now. Kid, he's like pushing 30, but like he was that kid.
He's fucking older than me.
He's like, Uncle Bill, you know what's fucked up? It's like, you're fucking 13 and smoking a joint in front of me. Like, he was the helicopter kid. Like,
dude, no. Some of those parents, like, just with there's like the one mom. It's like, okay, he can't do rolls or groundwork because of this. He can't run because he has asthma. He doesn't like being touched. So if you guys could not hit him while you spar. But like she's like,
you should buy him a tuba.
Yeah. So I'm just like, are you sure you want him in this class? It's like, well, he wants to learn, and also I think it's good for him. Like, okay, but a lot of martial arts is muscle memory and actually practicing getting out of shit. It's like, what's gonna happen when somebody actually does try and kidnap him? It's like, well, that's not gonna happen because he has a cell phone and it has mom's number in it. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, dude, there was this one kid, both me and like my boss Nina, we felt so bad for him, and he was like my age at the time. He's like 16 and he's wearing a mask, like this was before COVID too. Fuck. But he had to wear a mask in class and like all this and we're like, no, and he was like, I think he wasn't supposed to like practice rules either and shit like that. But like whenever she was gone, he's like, I'd like to try. And it's like, yeah, we're not saying shit. But I wonder where that kid is.
Prison.
Yeah,
probably.
He's got like a dominatrix dungeon or something going on.
It's just like the scene in Psycho. His mom's dead.
Yeah. Mother.
It's like mother.
So the last school that I was at middle school, they were trying to get me to coach.
Yeah.
And the day that I was thinking about it, they had a group of boys that got in trouble, and so they made them go out and do rolls. Like you know, you run, blow the whistle, and they have to roll. A dad brought a police officer up to the school the next day to try and press charges against the coaches for that. And he was like, you know, he broke out, you know, he can't get in the grass because of his allergies. I'm like, your fucking kid plays football. Like, buy him a tuba. Like, I mean, that's, and then nothing against band, because my younger son also played tuba.
Or like basketball, there's no grass in basketball.
But yeah, like do something
the clarinet
indoor.
might be for you.
Yeah. But it's, like when I got in trouble, and my mom won't listen. My mom wasn't a great mom. Like, I was a latchkey kid and all that shit.
Same.
And still, even as absent as my mom was in raising me, if I got in trouble in school, I got my ass whooped before. Like, and there was no my side of the story. There was like, it was the teacher, the principal, and that was it.
Yeah.
I had a kid throw a fucking football cleat and hit a girl in the back of the head in my classroom. So we removed him, sent him to the office. And when I'm calling his mom, she's like, well, what did she say to make him mad? Like, she could have called you a dirty cunt, and he still shouldn't be able to throw a fucking shoe and hit her in the back of the head in class. Like, that's what we've come to now. Like, but it's no
accountability for the fucking kids.
And what's fucked up is it's my generation raising these fucking kids. Like,
dude, that's my favorite thing to tell people, because a lot of people like to come at people I'm 25.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh yeah, you guys are fucking up the world. And I'm like, no, bitch.
It's like, who raised us?
Y'all are raising them.
I learned it by watching you.
Yeah, it's like, y'all raised these kids to fucking suck. It ain't on me.
And like my mom, like it was weird with my mom, because like she was a good attentive mother when she wasn't in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of like disappeared for a couple weeks. It's like, turns out she's in Laughlin with her new boyfriend or whatever. And like we kept losing our house key, so she just came out and she's like, just leave the window unlocked. And my brother would have to crawl through the window to let me in. But sometimes he was like, when he was in teenage dick mode, we're like a year apart, like he would just go in and start his Xbox and leave me outside. And I'd be calling my mom. It's like, Mom, but I don't know where to call because she didn't have a cell phone. And like trying to figure it out. It's like, just like her haunting grounds. It's like, okay, it's like, Jim, is she at your house? It's like, Eric, is he at your house? Is my mom? Have you seen my mom? Call her work. It's like, stab in the dark. Harrah's Laughlin.
Yeah.
Hi, is Teresa Bennett there? Or is Teresa Calistro there? Or also, she changed her name like 20 times. It was insane. My mom did a lot of forgery and shit. Like, she forged the divorce papers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she also forged her parents' signature when she married her first husband.
Sweet.
Yeah, but she also got mad at me because I sucked at forging signatures. So my brother and sister had to forge her signature because she didn't want to sign our agendas.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
I let my boys sign all their stuff when they got into high school.
Yeah.
The one thing I did do, because like the expectations, like my sister didn't set high expectations. My mom had low expectations because my sister, like, my mom was excited with the first kid. It's all like, okay, she wants to do baton, but my sister would quit like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
But like baton, flute, then she decided she wanted to do violin instead. So my mom's like losing all this money. So everything I wanted to do, it's like, why? So you can quit like your sister? Why? So you can quit like your sister? Why? Are you going to quit like your sister?
So she changed sports like your mom changed husbands?
Yeah. So there was that. So I did have my sister forge the signature because I started doing martial arts when I was 16. But I had my sister sign it, and also I didn't want my mom to know because her current husband at the time was a piece of shit. And like he was masturbating on my door and shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then she didn't believe me about
Trying
that.
to dry it shut and lock you in?
No, he'd like clean it up by the time she came, but he'd also like knock on my door really loud, like when I was trying to sleep. But he he just wanted to wake me up.
Damn.
And he was on meth and shit. I had to break up a homeless orgy one time. But like, my mom tried to an extent, but like a lot of fucked up shit. It's like, damn.
My mom wasn't the worst. It was, she just,
not the best.
Yeah. We were babysitting her friends' kids when I was 10.
Yeah.
And so mine, to call my mom, it was George's Fast Car Bar. Like, hey, is Katie there? Hey, we're looking for Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that too. The other thing is, like, she did make sure we were well fed.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like, that's how she showed love, by, like, feeding us and stuff. But yeah, when she was there, awesome. But also, she was a really shitty teacher, and she wanted me to be a wife and mother, so I can, like, sew, cook, clean, all that shit. And she's like, you can be anything in the world except a stand-up comedian. Because women aren't funny. Like, she said that, but she's all like, I think you could be a president. You could be a playmate if you lose a little weight. She's like, because you're beautiful. You just need to lose a little weight, and then your sister will be jealous because you're hot. And all these guys, and she was so fucking mean to my sister.
Yeah.
Like, they did not get along. My mom was actually a cunt to most of her stepkids and my sister. And it's all like, what the fuck's the matter with you? You can't sit there and tell a child they're worthless.
Yeah.
And like, just it's like, it's a good thing your sister's pretty because she doesn't have a fucking personality. It's all like, Jesus, Mom, she's standing right there.
Well, speaking of kids that you want to abandon, Bill, you got any shows out on the road before we wrap up?
I'm booked through, and secret in podcasting, we record before it goes out online.
Yeah.
I'm booked through, some stuff in October.
Yeah.
This should be rolling out in November, like you said, and so I haven't booked yet. But
yeah.
Where can they follow you, buddy?
You can follow me at the Foulmouthed Teacher on Instagram. Also, thefoulmouthedteacher.com. I've got a website. I'm posting a bunch of shit on there.
Fuck yeah.
And I've got a new podcast coming up with Cam Awesome. He's another comic. He was a freaking world heavyweight boxer, Olympic trials, world games and all that stuff. Cam Awesome. So it's going to be the Awesome Rhoades trip. So we're recording out of a fucking van.
That's awesome.
And all that. So it is awesome.
I'm looking forward to watching that one.
There's Awesome, and then there's Cam Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Great guy. Follow Cam F Awesome on Instagram as well. I'm going to plug in.
Sweetheart.
He's one of the nicest people.
I was going to say, don't you have a fishing channel too, or no?
I do. It's Crossroads Fishing. Rhoades like my last name. I don't really put a lot of stuff on there anymore. Just
that's fair.
I don't have time.
You don't want people to see your secret catches.
Not really. Yeah, not really. I mean, you can go fish where I fish, and you're not going to catch what I catch. But that's one thing I'm super confident in.
Because you're a bitch.
I did watch Grumpier Old Men the other day, and I thought of you because they love to fish in that movie.
Yeah.
But Eric, do you have anything for November?
I'm not real sure off the top of my head, but just Eric Biggs Comedy. Me and Bill might have some shows coming up. Yeah. Make sure you check that out. Eric Biggs Comedy. I have everything there. I have a podcast I'm doing with Matt Patera. I have, of course, the Birthday Boys podcast. One of the greatest podcasts in the world, apart from this one, of course. Eric Biggs does stuff on YouTube, just me posting car shit because I like that. And other than that, of course, once again, follow Birthday Boys and follow this fucking podcast and this channel. So.
And November, I'm going to be in Philadelphia. I'm not in any official shows, but I'll be checking out the open mic scene and meeting everybody there. So I'm excited for that. I have my own separate YouTube channel. Just type in Celia Contreras and it'll pop up. There'll be a Day of the Dead face of me. But if you can like and subscribe to Birthday Boys and that one, that'd be great because I'm monetized. They need to get monetized so we make money off this shit.
We're working on it.
And let's see. Also, you can just find me on TikTok. Just type in Celia Contreras and say.
I'm on TikTok. I don't use TikTok.
Yes.
And Instagram, it's Celia CELIA_A_Gram GRAM. Yes, I was a drug dealer when I made that. It was just weed. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else going on in November. But that was this episode of Surviving with Celia.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.